Hi everyone, welcome back to Betrayed. Thanks for joining us today. We have a brand new story to share, so let's get started. I came home early and overheard my girlfriend proudly talking about cheating on me, so I left without saying a single word. Now she's desperately trying to find me, but I've blocked her everywhere. I'm a 38-year-old man who just found out that my girlfriend, who is 36, has been unfaithful to me after 5 years together. And I discovered it in the most painful way possible. Here's a little background about me. I've never been married, and I don't have any children. Not because I don't want them, but because life just hasn't taken me down that road yet. Anyway, back to the story. Last Friday, after work, I left for a weekend trip with my friends to one of their cabins by the lake. Nothing too wild, just fishing, drinks, and games. Good old-fashioned fun. We usually take these trips every 3 months to relax and give our partners a little break from us. Normally, I stay the entire weekend and go straight to work from the cabin on Monday. But this time, I had forgotten my laptop in the office room at home. So, around 4 p.m., I decided to head back. I figured I'd be home by 6 o'clock and let's call her Rachel. She likely wouldn't have eaten by then. So, I ordered food from our favorite Italian restaurant, picked it up, and headed home. When I walked in, everything seemed normal. I heard Rachel laughing in the kitchen and thought I'd surprise her. But as I got closer, I started to overhear her phone conversation, and within seconds, my entire world fell apart. I assumed she was talking to her sister or a friend, but this is basically what I heard. Last night was amazing. He was such a thoughtful lover.
Pause.
I'm telling you, I've never experienced anything like it.
Pause.
We met on Tinder, and he took me out last night. As soon as we got through the door, we barely made it to the couch.
Pause.
Oh my God, way bigger than inserts my name.
Pause.
I'm definitely going to take him for another test drive. After hearing that, I dropped the food on the floor. Rachel turned around and saw me. By then, tears had already filled my eyes. She quickly ended the call and rushed toward me. But I pushed her away, went upstairs to grab my laptop, and left. It's been 4 days now, and Rachel has been calling and texting me nonstop, crying hysterically. I haven't responded to a single message. Right now, I'm staying at a motel in a town a few miles away, so I don't think she'll be able to find me. My friends and even my mom have called because Rachel's been desperately trying to reach me. I've assured everyone that I'm safe and that there's no need to worry. My entire life fell apart because of one phone call. I genuinely believed Rachel was the woman I'd spend the rest of my life with. I'm an only child, and my mom often reminds me she hopes for grandkids someday. I had planned to propose this year on the 4th of July, our 6th anniversary. I already bought the ring, and my friend and his wife knew about the plan since they were the ones who introduced us and hosted the annual 4th of July cookouts. Any advice from you would really help. This is the first time I've ever experienced betrayal in a relationship, and honestly, I'm just shattered. Should I reach out to Rachel? Should I listen to what she has to say? After hearing that phone call, even thinking about her makes me feel sick. Thanks in advance to anyone willing to share advice. From user Traditional Band 723. She was openly boasting about cheating on you. You'll never forget what you heard. Time to move on. From user Boston Dana 2. Just to add, she revealed her true character. Be thankful you found out now, and not after getting married. From user Bushy Boy 1973. You've already heard everything you need to. Don't look back. The best option is to have your friends collect your belongings and never speak to her again. The only closure here is on her end. Don't give her the chance to apologize. Avoid her friends or mutual contacts trying to deliver messages from her. Ignore them too. Consider posting publicly on social media, explain what happened, and tag her if needed. From user My name is not Chuck 509. Yes, do that. Since you seem like a kind person who probably couldn't imagine doing something like this to someone else, you'll naturally want to understand or fix things. You'll try to be pick-me. Make it public, so you can't go back. You dodged a bullet, believe me. I found out last year that half my life was a lie. After 27 years and 3 children, my wife had been cheating for years. I had the chance to leave during the first year we dated when I found out she likely cheated, but I tried to fix things. Don't be me. Hello, everyone. First of all, I want to thank all of you for your kind and supportive words. It's been a really stressful week, and although I wasn't in the right state of mind to reply to every message, I want you all to know that I read them. Your words helped me get through the days. This has been a heartbreaking experience, and every person who commented or reached out brightened my day, even just a little. Last Friday night, after my friends arrived at the hotel, I explained to my friends what I had heard during the phone call. All three of them were shocked, to say the least. They asked if I had noticed any signs, and honestly, I hadn't. I told them I had no idea what I was going to do. I let one of my friends know that the proposal was off. Given the situation, he completely understood. Before they left their homes, I had asked my friends to turn off the location tracking on their phones, just in case their partners were monitoring them and reporting back to Rachel. I know Rachel is close with one of the wives, but at this point, I didn't want to take any chances. That night, we spent the evening at the hotel bar. I completely unraveled, shot after shot after shot. It got ugly. My friends were getting calls all night from their significant others, asking where they were. To their credit, they stood by me and just said we were safe and not to worry. One of them asked to talk to me directly, probably trying to confirm where they were, but I didn't want to speak with her. She kept saying Rachel was worried and just wanted me to come home. I told my friend to handle it and that I'd explain everything to them another time. I spent most of that night flirting with the bartender, which I'm not proud of, and chatting with a couple of women who were in town for work. The next morning, I thanked my friends for being there with me and they headed back home. Later in the week, one of my buddies checked on the rental house for me, since it's a longest commute, and he goes to work after the time Rachel and I would have already left. He told me Rachel had taken Monday and Tuesday off work, but returned on Wednesday. As soon as I found out, I went to the house and started packing up as much of my stuff as I could. The place was a mess, dishes in the sink, clothes all over the place, and the trash full of takeout containers. It took me about 3.5 hours to get everything packed. Before I left, I cleaned up the place as one last gesture for Rachel. That afternoon and evening, I was flooded with calls and texts from Rachel after she realized I had come by and taken all my things. So for now, I'm staying at my mom's house until I can find a new place this fall. I spoke with the landlord, but without Rachel's signature, he won't take me off the lease. That means I'm stuck paying my half until the lease ends in October. Thankfully, my mom has offered to let me stay until then. After that, I'll look for a new place. Yeah, I know, 38 years old and back at my mom's house. Life's really throwing punches right now. On Thursday, I finally contacted Rachel and told her we could meet at a bar and grill downtown on Friday night. I also let her know that one of my buddies would be there to make sure everything stayed respectful and safe. She complained for a few minutes, saying she wanted me to come home so we could talk things through and move past this. But I told her if she really wanted to see me, this was the only way. Eventually, she agreed. So on Friday night, Rachel showed up after my friend and I had already been there for about an hour. I had already eaten and taken a couple shots of Ciroc to calm my nerves. We sat down and she started with small talk, asking how I was, and so on. I shut that down quickly. I told her I had a list of questions. Her eyes immediately filled with tears. Asked her how long this had been going on. She swore it was the first and only time. I told her to stop lying. There was no way we were getting back together, so I just wanted the truth for closure and peace of mind. She stuck to her story for a few minutes, but then, just like many of you predicted, she finally confessed. She said that every time I went on those trips over the past 2 years, she assumed I was going to cheat on her. So she decided to have her fun, too. That set me off. I told her she was just using that as a pathetic excuse to sleep around. I asked who she was talking to on the phone the other day, but she wouldn't give me an answer. I asked if they used protection, and she said sometimes. I told her she was lucky I had gotten tested and came back clean, so she didn't have to worry about getting tested unless the last guy didn't use anything. Finally, before I left, I told her about my July 4th proposal plans. I showed her the ring and explained that I had planned to propose at our friend's party, where we had first met. That's when she broke down and started crying. She begged me for another chance. I told her I would always love her, but we were over. So, yeah, she's been messaging me all day, but I'm planning to block her soon. Right now, I'm sitting here eating Buffalo Wild Wings, drinking a beer, and watching the fights. I'm hoping Pa wins, but I'm not too confident. My life feels like a train wreck right now. Thanks for listening, everyone. I'm not sure if I'll update again, since I doubt I'll ever talk to Rachel again. But thanks to all of you for your support. In the meantime, here are a few updates. First off, Rachel is no longer invited to the 4th of July cookout, so I don't have to worry about any confrontation with her. If you remember my last post, I mentioned that one of the wives was trying to talk to me at the bar. Well, it turns out she's the one who hosts the cookout, and Rachel had told her that she had only cheated once, and that it was a huge mistake. That's why the wife was trying to get me to talk things through with Rachel. When I spoke to the wife this past Tuesday, I told her the full story. She immediately called Rachel to confirm everything. Rachel was furious and started yelling at the wife, telling her it would be best if Rachel didn't show up to the event, since I would be there. She then asked me for forgiveness, but I told her that it wasn't her fault. We were both lied to by someone we cared about. As for who was on the phone with Rachel that day, I can only guess it was her sister. The two wives who are friends with Rachel have remained loyal, claiming they had no idea about what Rachel was doing. Apparently, on the Saturday evening we were away, the wives had a girls' night at my house until around 11 p.m., talking about typical girl stuff and drinking wine. One of the wives, who's not even friends with Rachel but participated in those nights, confirmed this. The reason I suspect it was Rachel's sister on the phone is because I've reached out to her 3 times now, and I haven't heard back. Not a single text or call. Rachel's mother has also called me, expressing her disappointment in the breakup and asking if there's anything they can do to change my mind, but I've told her it's not going to happen. I went back to work on Monday after taking a week off, so I'm back to my normal routine now. No more alcohol for me in the near future. I'm sure my liver will thank me for that. This community has been a huge help to me, and I wanted to personally thank each and every one of you for your support. I don't know if I'll update this account again, as it seems like this situation is finally over. By the way, I've blocked Rachel on all platforms, so she has no way to contact me anymore. The cookout host mentioned that Rachel isn't doing well, but honestly, neither am I. But I'm moving forward and leaving all of this behind me. Thanks again to this amazing community. You all rock. I worked hard for my wife, took care of our kid, and did all the chores while she came home late every day. So, I decided to follow her and found out she was cheating on me. My wife and I had been married for 4 years. We first met at a football stadium. I had gone with some friends to support my football team, and she was there with her family. While the game was going on, she tried to take a picture, and since I was sitting just a row ahead of her, she accidentally captured me in the shot, not caring at all. I wasn't sure if I was intruding, but I smiled as she took the photos. We ended up becoming friends afterward because she was so kind and polite. After seeing me grinning in the pictures, she asked if she could send them to me. I thought it was funny because I expected her to be upset for ruining her moment, but instead, we became friends. We exchanged contact information and followed each other on Facebook. After that day, we didn't talk for a while, but she later messaged me on Facebook. From there, we started chatting more. It started with random questions, and gradually we began to talk more personally. I liked her personality. She was energetic and always fun to talk to, whether on the phone or through messages. After weeks of talking and getting to know each other, I asked her out on a date, and she agreed. Our first date went smoothly, which led to more dates and eventually a relationship. I fell in love with her, and she made me feel like a kid again. I had been heartbroken from my previous relationship and was afraid to fall in love again. That's why I buried myself in work and pushed any woman away. But with my wife, it was different. She made me feel safe, and I loved her so much. She brought peace to my mind, and eventually we got married. My wife had always wanted a child, so we had one during the first year of our marriage. She was already 2 months pregnant before we got married. Even though I wasn't ready for a child so quickly, I agreed because of how excited she was. When our daughter was born, I was overjoyed, and I loved how she lit up my world. Her presence pushed me to work harder and become a better father and husband. As our daughter grew, she spent more time with me because I worked from home, which gave me enough time to take her to daycare and pick her up. My wife, being a nurse, only got time with our daughter on her days off or when she was home. Since I spent more time at home, I took care of the house, cleaning, doing laundry, and even cooking on some days. I did this because I wanted to ease my wife's burden, knowing how exhausted she was after her shifts. I also wanted to keep the house neat. We kept this routine for the first 3 years of our marriage, and everything was great. We didn't have many problems, aside from the typical couple disagreements that never lasted long. We were also great parents to our daughter and did everything to raise her well. But things started to change in the 4th year of our marriage. It all began when my wife started coming home later than expected. For example, when she worked the afternoon shift and was supposed to come home in the evening, she wouldn't come home until the next day. She'd say it was because she was covering for a sick colleague or working overtime. At first, I understood, but after a while, it became more of a habit than an excuse, and it started to affect our relationship. Our daughter began missing her mother, and I had to make up several excuses for why she wasn't home. As this went on, our intimacy also suffered. She stopped letting me touch her, and whenever I tried, she would either complain about being too tired or say she wasn't in the mood. This continued for weeks, and even months. It got so bad that I started worrying about our marriage, so I signed us up for marriage counseling. However, she never showed up for a single appointment. As time passed, our relationship deteriorated, and I had to talk to a close friend about it. He suggested that my wife might be seeing someone else or was just tired of our marriage. At first, I couldn't believe it. I trusted my wife completely, and I didn't think she would cheat on me. To show how much I trusted her, I argued with my friend, insisting that my wife couldn't be cheating. I believed she was just working hard to give our daughter a better future. I also considered that maybe my wife was tired of our marriage, so I tried to bring it up with her. But each time, she seemed uninterested or responded coldly. After trying so many times to fix things, I started to wonder if she was seeing someone else. There were a lot of changes in her over the past few months. She used to go grocery shopping in simple clothes, but now she became more conscious of how she looked, even mixing 2 or 3 perfumes just to go shopping. I didn't find it suspicious at first because I had often complained about how my wife dressed outside the house. She used to look unkempt, which was something I'd always pointed out. So when she started dressing better, I was actually happy that she was finally listening to me. One day, my wife was playing with our daughter in the living room while I was in the kitchen making dinner. I remember her phone ringing, but instead of answering it in the living room like I expected, she rushed out of the house. Immediately, I felt like something was off. In all the years we had been together, my wife had never stepped outside to take a call, no matter what it was about. Out of curiosity, I left what I was doing and followed her. I didn't go outside, but I could hear most of her conversation since she left the door open. I quickly returned to the kitchen before she came back inside. When she returned, she acted normal, playing with our daughter for a few minutes. Then, she asked me about the groceries we needed. I told her, and she made a list. Afterward, she told me she'd go get the groceries since she wasn't doing anything at the moment. I didn't need to be a psychic to tell something was wrong. Her body language said it all. I watched her go into our room to shower, change, and put on light makeup for grocery shopping. We hadn't shared that bond or communicated like we used to in months, yet here she was, excited and dressed up just for grocery shopping. As soon as she left, I asked my closest neighbor if his oldest daughter could help watch our daughter for a few minutes. He agreed, and I quickly drove to the grocery store I knew she went to. When I arrived at the store, I waited a bit. Just as I was about to get out of the car to confirm if she was really shopping, I saw my wife walking out with a man. She had her arm around his waist, and his hand was over her shoulder. It was already evening, and the store was well lit, so I could clearly see them through the glass. Before they could leave the store, I stormed inside, filled with anger. I couldn't believe I was acting like this, but I was furious. When my wife saw me, she was shocked and didn't know what to do or say. I didn't confront her directly. Deep down, I knew our marriage was over. Instead, I focused on the man she was with. I yelled at him, and I caused a scene. People gathered, taking videos and photos, but I didn't care. I was beyond angry. In the end, the man's manager found out about the affair and fired him. As for my wife, she came home that night, begging and crying, but no matter what she said, I was too hurt to forgive her. She told me she thought she could get away with it and returned to me, which made it even worse. That night, I kicked her out, and she stayed at a friend's place. She had been seeing him for over 6 months, and I had no idea. All that time, she had been telling me stories about covering for her friend at work while spending nights with him, leaving me to care for our daughter alone. We did divorce. I couldn't forgive her or forget that she cheated on me while I was trying to be a good husband and father. Thankfully, I won custody of our daughter, mainly because she was never around in the first place. It made sense for her to stay with me. It's been over a year now, and I still haven't fully gotten over the pain and betrayal. I'm disappointed, and I probably always will be. But my daughter is my top priority now, and I'll do my best to be a good father and teach her the importance of faithfulness in any relationship she has in the future.